Today I'm working with a Rinnai V65. Going to be doing a D scale. Got my pump hooked up to my cold inlet, my hot outlet coming out to the bucket. Going to dump in there. I am going to start by removing all of my screws in here to get to the burner assembly, and I will get back then. Alright, I have started the pumping process. Going through. That water is clear as day now, but it won't be soon. Start to disassemble. Now that I've got my cover removed, I'm able to see the burner assembly. In order to get this out, obviously we're going to have to take off all of those screws and get two screws way back in there. One there and one there. Right, now I got the flame rod and igniter rods removed, the two screws down in the bottom removed. I'm going to remove this little thin plate right on top. Now, sometimes when trying to remove the burner, you may run into issues. So what I do is I just get myself some little pliers, be very careful, and just give it a little yank and she'll come right out. Now, once you have this out, what I like to do is give this a little drop, 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 flip it over, and you take a look at all of that debris that was inside the burner. And definitely going to cause some Erica 11s and whatnot, failure to ignite. And this has been going on for about 5 minutes, and look at that water already. And I did disclose to the customer that there are times when doing these that if they haven't been serviced in a long time, there could be a lot of calcium buildup on the heat exchanger, which is up in there. That would, once it gets washed away with our citric acid that we use, I don't like to use that haymaker, that flow aid type stuff. I like to use citric acid. But sometimes when you do a good thorough clean, it will break off some of the calcium buildup and cause the heat exchanger to leak. Now, as we're letting this go, we're going to be cleaning all of these things up, blowing them out, and blowing out the combustion chamber, which is gonna be fun. Get ready, because it is going to be bad. I'm going to set you up right here. Don't know what you're able to see, but good luck. Bigger tank. This bad boy blown out. Clean as a whistle. I don't know about that heat exchanger. Still looks a little rough, but internally, hopefully she's pretty good. Now, it's time to blow these bad boys out. You wouldn't believe how much dust gets inside these. Now, when blowing these out, that's why it's always good to have compressed air. What I'm going to do is blow out the burner and everything else with it. Take this. That's that. Now it's time to deal with this. Now everyone always is like, oh man, just do a flood. Problem is when you do an oil change, you leave the same filter. No, it takes a lot of things to do these things correctly. And you got to have the knowledge. My flame rod and igniter rods, I use a $1 bill to clean them up. Just clean off the back sides of them. Old $1 bill, preferably. And I'm going to start putting her all back together. So now that we got her all cleaned out and whatnot, it is time to put it back together and let the remainder of the about 25 minutes do its work. And when putting your burner back in, I could not elaborate more on how important it is to have a longer screwdriver with a magnetic tip to be able to get them screws back secured. So make sure you line everything back up correctly as well. Sometimes it doesn't like to. So we're good to go. Alright, she's all back together now. Water is below. Put that little sticker right back on it. It's very important that everything goes back the way they should. You really have to pay attention to where the short screws go, where the long screws go. Got long screws that come in here, short screws that come in here, short screws that are in the back. I mean, just everything is, you have to be very diligent when doing these. This one has a little O-ring on it. Pay attention to that. These ones are very, very fine and got to be very close. Pay attention to what you're doing. It's very important. Cannot reiterate that enough. But it's looking great. It's going along smoothly. I'm not seeing any drips from the heat exchanger. Now it's kind of time to sit back and let this do its job.